Hello and welcome into the Salamander Society. This is your Raw and Smackdown live reviews for the week of January 23rd and 24th of 2017. And let's get it kicked off with Monday Night Raw. And before I do this, I'm going to say that I'm not going to go through every little thing. And if you missed something, if I missed something that you wanted to hear, I'm sorry, but I, I'm just not going to go through every little thing. So Raw kicked off with Roman's music, which automatically had me halfway tuned out. Um, Whether you like that or not, I don't care. I just not into Roman right now, which most people aren't. Um, it was boring until KO and Y2J came out. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, the best friends, came out to interrupt Roman Reigns on him telling us what we already know. And Chris Jericho said he wanted to teach Roman a lesson. And in his mind, he's thinking just him and Kevin Owens going down there and beating him up. But Roman asked, does that mean I get a rematch for my United States title? And I liked that a lot, that he said that. And the crowd got into it. And KO kind of played it off. He said, you think you're going to get a United States championship shot tonight? And then he said, you know what? You got it. And that was hilarious. If you looked at Chris Jericho's face when he said that, oh my goodness, I was dying. He was smiling and laughing when Kevin Owens was talking, and then he said, you got it. And he turned to him with the most serious look ever. Like, what did you just do? It was hilarious. It was a good segment overall. Better than I thought it would be when Roman's music hit. So Y2J and KO once again could make something out of nothing. Next, I'm going to skip ahead to the Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins match. What a match. This is probably one of the best matches that Raw has seen in quite some time. Probably since the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Championship. And this was a match and a half. It built great. Some may say that it started slow, but I could see what they were building. They were building towards a great match. And this was what I'm thinking of when I say we need to take finishers out of being signature moves. And you know what I mean by that. They hit finishers and they kick out all the time. So in this match, the pedigree on the apron was the only finisher hit in this entire match. And all the kickouts and all the near falls were just as good as if they were with finishers. So this will force, if they do this, this will force the good wrestlers, the great wrestlers to come out and do great matches. And the bad wrestlers will be plotted out. So use finishers as finishers. And I loved how they did it, though. Back to the match, everything Seth was doing, Sami just would kick out. I believe he did the Falcon's Arrow. He did a super kick and all of that, and he still would not pin him. He still would kick out, and that was great to storytelling on Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins' part, showing that Sami Zayn is the underdog in this, and Seth is the great wrestler in this. And so back and forth they went a little bit after that. And then they roll out into the apron, and Seth hits a pedigree on the apron. And I lost it, and the crowd lost it. I was like, oh, Lord, what a shot right there. I've never seen that before. I don't even think from Triple H. He's probably done it, but speaking of Triple H, he goes for the cover after he hits Sami with the pedigree on the apron, which would have probably finished the match if he would have got the pin. And Triple H's music hit, and the crowd and I proceeded to mark out. I marked out, and then I thought, oh no, he's not going to come out tonight. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. He's going to distract Seth enough for Sami to win the match. So Sami Zayn rolls up Rollins for the win, and I absolutely loved it. It was great. This whole match was put together great, and if they did the rest of every Raw like this, just storytelling all wrapped up and all neat and nice like SmackDown does, then that would be every Raw. I would watch every Raw from start to finish, 3 hours or not. But sadly, they don't do it like that. Afterwards, backstage, when Seth was yelling at Mick Foley, you could feel his anger. I could feel his anger. I don't know about you, but you could feel his anger, and it was great. You could feel the emotion coming from him, and that was great, and it's going to build to a great feud between Triple H and Seth Rollins. Next, I'm going to skip all the way to Y2J versus Roman for the United States Championship. I'll mention the promos from Bayley and Charlotte here real fast. Bayley's was underwhelming. Charlotte's was great. Charlotte completely outshined Bayley, which my prediction anyways is that Charlotte's going to retain, but Bayley's going to win at WrestleMania. So that's my prediction right now. Spoiler alert. But Chris Jericho versus Roman. The only reason I'm going to talk about this, because it was kind of a bland match, is KO on commentary laying the verbal smackdown on Byron Saxton. Oh my goodness, he was laying the smackdown on him. He was talking about how he still lives with his parents. He was telling him to shut up, and it was awesome to see one of your most hated commentators get just absolutely roasted by KO. And then Kevin Owens interferes, and I could see it coming. I knew that Roman was not going to win the United States Championship tonight. He's going to win the Universal Championship on Sunday, probably. So that was that. And KO got locked in the shark cage. It was kind of funny, but it's all right. And then we learned that it's going to be a no DQ match, along with Chris Jericho being locked in the shark cage. So that could be good. Because I've seen KO in a last man standing match with Dean Ambrose, and it looks like Kevin Owens can go on any stipulation, but especially this stipulation. And then the main event, skipping all the way to the main event. The New Day stuff and all that was alright, but I'm skipping all the way to the main event with Goldberg. Poor Goldberg. Oh, Lord. He forgot his lines. He kept on going. He screwed up once, like I have a couple of times in this podcast already, and I'm not dogging on him at all because I've done it a lot of times, and those are lines, and he probably got the lines that day, and he's been out of the game for about 10 years, so it's alright, Goldberg. Once you got rolling, it was alright, but nobody could forget really what happened, or his botch, so it kind of went on until Paul Heyman came out, and then Brock came out. I pretty much assumed that Brock was going to be on the show, but then when Paul Heyman came out, I was like, "Wait, is he here? I didn't think he would be here, or I thought he would be here, but now Paul Heyman's coming out, and usually that means he's not here, but he actually was here, and he came out. And just as Brock and Goldberg were about to go at it, they were about to fight. Brock was looking mad. Goldberg was looking confident, and the gong hit, and the Undertaker appeared out of the darkness, but it ended right there. And I at first I was extremely angry. I was like, I wanted to see a fight, and then one person standing over the two corpses of the other, and that would close the show. But this is fine because I see what they're doing. They're promoting it. They're promoting, you have to buy the pay-per-view on Sunday to see it. So I like that as a business aspect. But Undertaker hit, and the crowd, this was one of the biggest pops of last year and this year so far. The gong hit, and the crowd went absolutely nuts. And I jumped up out of my seat, and that was that. And overall, a botched segment was saved by Paul Heyman and Undertaker, even though Undertaker didn't say anything. But my overall thoughts for Raw now, very, very solid show. Much better than we've got in the last few weeks. And every match was properly promoted for the Royal Rumble. So it was a great, great show. And we'll see if SmackDown can top it. Speaking of SmackDown, let's go through that real fast. First was Randy Orton versus Luke Harper in a match that was announced last week by Bray Wyatt. The family will become stronger by this match. It was a decent match, fairly quick, probably 10 minutes at most. And Harper sold the RKO very well. He sold it kind of like a stunner where he bounced up. He sold it kind of like Shawn Michaels did at WrestleMania 12, where he bounced up and landed on his back. He sold it very well. Randy pinned him and won. Harper was down. Bray Wyatt got in the ring from his rocking chair, and he picks up Harper and looks like he's going to comfort him. And then it happens, boom, Sister Abigail. And the best line of the night was, I believe, by Mauro Ranallo, when he said, "You gotta wonder if Bray Wyatt just kissed Luke Harper goodbye." I'm not more trouble with my words, but it's very interesting. And my question is Harper out of the Wyatt family? That's a big question. On to Mickie James' promo and Becky Lynch interrupting and all that. A very good promo. No rust from Mickie James. And she said that she was the revolution. This women's revolution right now is not a women's revolution because she was the original one. And Becky Lynch interrupts, and Mickie flees away after getting beat up a little bit, only to get help from Alexa, who shows up out of nowhere. And I like that. It's a heel move, so why not? And the segment ends with Mickie James and Alexa Bliss standing over Becky Lynch, and that's good. The heels go over in this one. On to Mojo Rawley, just really quick. He won a spot in the Rumble, and my second point is, why was Corbin there? You should have said that too. That would have been really funny if he just said, "Why am I here?" And that was that. On to the best segment of the night, in my opinion. AJ Styles calls out John Cena. A blistering promo by AJ Styles, including calling Cena an excuse for a wrestler. And this is kind of bringing out the IWC's complaints of Cena. And Cena uses that in his promos. But Cena leaves AJ speechless in the end with his promo, his very heelish promo, where he says that AJ is just a guy holding on to that title because he lets him. And he's going to take it back at the Royal Rumble. Great back and forth promo like these guys have done for a while now. And I'm just as hyped for this match as I am for the Rumble itself. On to Dolph Ziggler versus Kalisto. I'm very interested in Dolph, even though there's not a lot of clear-cut things with him. I'm very interested in him, and I actually like this Apollo Crews and Ziggler beef or whatever they're doing with it. I really like it, and I think Kalisto is just a little thing in the end, but I think it's really Apollo versus Dolph, and that's what I want it to be, anyways. But Dolph is really great right now, even though he's not on the mic, which is his best aspect. He is wrestling very well right now. He crushed Kalisto tonight, and JBL explained it very well. I like the commentary tonight, by the way. JBL explained it really well by saying, this is the Ziggler that you don't want to mess with. This is the focused Ziggler, so that was very good. And on to the main event, which was alright. The IC Championship was defended in a lumberjack match. It was a pretty good match. It went pretty long. I remember them doing the entrances at like 9:30 or 8:30 here, and I was like, it's 30 minutes till the show ends. So they let him go for a while, and this was a way better use of Baron Corbin, than it was earlier in the show. And it's showcasing the IC title in the main event. SmackDown always makes their main event feel special. It makes whoever is in their main event feel special. Last week it was the women in the steel cage match. This week is the IC title. And that WWE Championship's not losing any prestige with AJ Styles holding it. So that was that. Great build for the Rumble in this match because of the chaos of this match being very comparable to the Rumble match. Overall thoughts of SmackDown: I think SmackDown won this week by a closer margin than usual. Usually they blow Raw out of the water, but this week it was a lot closer of a margin. Some people even have been saying that Raw won this week, so it's very, very close this week, but I doubt that Raw will be able to top SmackDown in the future. And I'm really excited for the Rumble, and I hope you are too. And until my Royal Rumble predictions, I'll see you guys later.